Today's lesson is on how do we analyze linear equations. Write the equation of the given line from the graph. Take a second to copy down the question and draw a quick sketch of the graph. What we're doing now is writing the graph's proportional relationships. I know my graph is proportional because it passes through the origin and it is a straight line. The graph of a proportional relationship is always going to be y equals mx. So I'm going to have to determine what my m value is. So I picked 2 points on my graph. I can use these first 2 points. The m is still going to be my rise over my run. I rise up 1 space, but each 1 space represents 20 miles. And then I run to the right 1, which represents 1 gallon of gasoline. So my m is 20 over 1, or 20. So now my equation, I'm going to keep the y. My m, I'm going to substitute in the 20, and I'm going to keep my x. So my equation is y equals 20x. The second question. A drone descends into a mining cave. The graph relates its distance below ground to time. Write an equation that describes the relationship. So if I look at my graph, I see that it starts at the origin and I have a perfectly straight line. So my graph is proportional. So I know my equation is going to be y equals mx. I'm going to find my slope, or my m, which is rise over run. I'm going to pick 2 points that are on my graph. I used the origin last time, so this time I'm going to pick something different. I'm going to pick this point and this point. When I rise, I go down from negative 250 to negative 500. So I went down 250, and then I went to the right 1, 2. But if I notice, each 1 is represented by 0.5. So I went over 0.5, 1 in total. So my m is equal to negative 250. And it makes sense that my m is negative because my line is going down from left to right. So the equation of my line would be y equals negative 250x. And the reason why this equation works is if I substitute in 1 for the x, I get that y equals negative 250. And if I look at my graph again, when I'm at 1 for the x, I'm at negative 250 for the y. If I did it a different way, if I substituted in negative 750 for y equals negative 250x, and I solved this for x, I would divide by negative 250 on both sides, and I would get 3 equals x. So if I go to negative 750 on y, and I go across, I get to 3 on my x-axis. And my last equation is to graph the line y equals negative 3x. So y equals negative 3x. From this equation, I'm going to identify what my slope is. My m value is equal to negative 3 over positive 1. Another way I could write this is a positive 3 over a negative 1. The reason why both of these work is because a negative divided by a positive gives me a negative 3. But a positive divided by a negative also still gives me and negative 3. So since my equation is in the form y equals mx, it is proportional. So I'm going to start my equation, my graph, at the origin. Now I'm going to move based off of my two slopes. Negative 3 means I'm going to go down 3 and right 1. So I could go down 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1 space, and plot a point. I can do it again, 1, 2. I run out of room, so I'm not going to go that way. Now I could go the opposite way. Up 3 and 1 to the left. So up 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 to the left. Now I would connect my 3 points and draw my line all the way through the graph. And be sure to put arrows at the end and label the equation. Y equals negative 3x.